If you'd told me that night, with rain coming down so hard, I'd thought God himself was mad at the world, that I'd end up here a man changed by the storm, by the kindness of a stranger, by a love I'd spend years searching for, I'd have laughed in your face. But you know what? Life's got a sense of humor that way. One minute you're driving like a lunatic, desperate to see your dying father, thunder cracking above you, and the next you're staring death in the face, and it's not even your own regret that kills you, it's the memory of a man you never told I love you enough, a wall of mistakes built on every deal you thought mattered more than family. And when my car spun out that night, smashing into a tree with all the drama of a movie, I thought that was it. No last words, just darkness and the sound of rain. But then she came, Alla Smith. I didn't know her name, not then. Just a blur in a soaked white blouse, a girl with nothing but a threadbare jacket and a stubborn will, who fought her way through the storm and down that embankment because she saw someone in need. The car was a wreck, blood everywhere, my own life leaking out of me by the second. And her voice, gentle but fierce, not on my watch, handsome, not tonight. She worked fast, ripped her shirt to bandage me, called 911 on some ancient flip phone, and when my eyes fluttered open, she was right there, blue-black night behind her, looking like every angel I'd ever heard about in Sunday school. Am I dead? I croaked out, and she smiled, a little sad, a little annoyed. Not if I can help it, she said, and there was something in her eyes, something that said she wasn't new to pain, wasn't scared of it either. I drifted, lost between life and death, and she kept her hand on my face, her voice in my ear, promising I wouldn't die alone. It was the kind of kindness you don't expect from strangers. Hell, half the people in my own family wouldn't have gone that far for me. She vanished as soon as the paramedics showed, like she was never there at all except she left her grandmother's locket, gold and worn, in the muddy wreck. I clung to that thing through every surgery, every miserable hour at the hospital, through the phone call that told me my father was gone 17 minutes before I got there. You ever feel haunted by a number? 17 minutes. That's how long it takes to lose your last chance at forgiveness. I spent weeks searching for her, the girl who saved my life and vanished. Hired investigators. Asked everyone in every ER, every clinic, every nursing school. She's out there, I told myself, and I owe her more than just a thank you. Meanwhile, Alla was fighting her own war. Lost her grandma, the one woman who'd ever stuck by her, barely scraping by in a shoebox apartment above a laundromat, working herself raw just to keep the lights on. And if you think that's a life with dignity, you don't know poverty. You don't know the judgment in people's eyes, the way neighbors whisper, the way church ladies look you up and down like you're one step from hell. But then life, never content with just one punch, landed another. Her best friend, Kesha, was killed by a drunk driver, leaving behind 3 baby triplets, just over a year old. And with no family left, no fathers in sight, it was Alla or the foster system. She took them all in, no hesitation. 3 jobs, more debt than hope, a kind of exhaustion that never left her bones. People whispered. 3 babies, no daddy, living over a laundromat. She must be, you know the word. What those neighbors didn't seek out and see was how she mothered those kids like they were her own flesh and blood. Hope, with her wise eyes and careful words. Faith, whose laugh could light up a blackout. Isaiah, already singing gospel songs before he could say mama. They never went hungry, even if it meant Alla skipped meals. They never felt unwanted, even when the world shouted the opposite. She gave them all she had. Nights filled with lullabies and promises whispered in a hair still damp from the bath. Mornings spent counting pennies and stretching oatmeal. Yeah, that happened. The real miracle was how those children thrived, loved more fiercely than most folks ever dream. 2 years I searched. 2 years of business as usual by day, haunted by a pair of dark eyes and a vanished angel by night. When my investigator finally tracked her down, I didn't hesitate. Drove to the worst street in town, Mercedes sticking out like a sore thumb, and there she was pushing a stroller, buying groceries with coins, wearing the same determined face I remembered. I watched her get humiliated by a store clerk, saw her choose milk for the kids over coffee for herself. That was it for me. I stepped up, paid her bill, and when our eyes met, well, let's just say the world stopped spinning. She tried to push me away. "You don't belong in my world," she said, and maybe she was right. My suits, my bank account, my penthouse didn't fit on Maple Street. But her dignity did. Her love did. And I realized I didn't care what the world thought. We started spending time together, me and her and those 3 beautiful kids, building something like a family, one bedtime story at a time. She told me the truth about Kesha, about the rumors, about sacrificing her own reputation so those kids could keep their mother's memory untarnished. I'd never respected anyone more. But the world doesn't let up. The neighbors gossiped louder. CPS showed up, suits and clipboards, threatening to take the children. It was like reliving her worst nightmares. And me, with all my money and connections, felt more helpless than I ever had. So we fought together. I called lawyers, she produced letters, and then twist of Fatia, a long-lost aunt, appeared, Kesha's real family, bearing proof of everything. DNA tests, birth certificates, even a video of Kesha begging that her best friend Allah raise her babies if she couldn't. Sometimes, miracles come disguised as disasters, you know what I mean? The truth came out. Neighbors who'd sneered brought casseroles. The church ladies who'd judged now donated toys. The CPS workers apologized, said the kids were thriving, more love than most they'd ever seen. And through it all, Allah held her head high, never letting the pain win. She saved me in that storm, but she saved those children every single day after, with nothing but stubborn love and grit. When I finally asked her to marry me publicly, with the whole neighborhood watching, she thought I was crazy. "You're a rich man. I'm the woman everyone whispers about. They'll never stop judging." But I didn't care, and neither did the kids. The wedding was pure joy. Everyone we loved in one place, neighbors, family, even the store clerk from the market, now sheepishly offering a gift. The vows were simple: love, protection, forever. She wore her grandmother's locket. Hope scattered flowers. Faith danced. Isaiah hummed Amazing Grace. We moved into the penthouse. I adopted those kids as my own. They took my name, but more than that, they took my heart. 6 months later, Allah stood in front of the mirror, belly just starting to round, a new life on the way. "What should we name them?" she asked, and I said, "Grace, because that's what brought us together." At night, I'd watch her tuck each child in, singing the same lullabies that saved me that stormy night, and I'd think some storms are sent to break you, but sometimes they just clear the way for the sun. So let folks talk. Let them judge. Let the world debate what's right, what's wrong, what a family's supposed to look like. All I know is this: love saved me. Love saved her. Love gave 3 lost children a home. And if you've ever been told you don't belong, or you're not enough to believe it, sometimes the family you build is stronger than the one you're born into. Sometimes love is the loudest answer to the world's cruelty. So what do you think, folks? Is it really money and blood that makes a family, or the kind of love that crawls through a storm for a stranger and never lets go, no matter what the neighbors say? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about what family, sacrifice, and real justice mean to you. Because somewhere out there, someone needs to hear that storms end, and sometimes, just sometimes, the rainbow's real.